Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. Connect with us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
Welcome to the Worldwide Women Speakers online conference. She is and I am she. Our theme this month is She is a Writer. I'm RJ Jackson, the Courage Giver, your host for today. Really excited to be here and actually a little bit more excited that you're here. So thanks for hanging out with us. We promise to give you information that will cause transformation in your situation. Did you know that the world is never the same once someone shares their story? It's time. We are here today to help you find the courage to stay faithful to the story in your head. To tell the truth, we want to help you get it out your head, out your heart, and on the page. Because someone needs to hear your story. Today, Angela Denise and Athena Blue will be joining us to inspire you to take a risk with confidence. Transformational coach Angela Denise is a woman on a mission. She's called by God to help strengthen your relationship. Through her own trials and tribulations of relationship, she's learned to develop a positive and healthy relationship with others. She is a certified life coach, speaker, and author on a journey to transform lives by teaching the mind, body, and soul to love thyself and avoid the pitfalls of an unhealthy relationship. Mindset maven Athena Blue is a mother of 5, health coach, emotional wellness specialist, and an RN with over 40 years of experience in healthcare. She's an advocate for helping women create healthy food relationships and teaching the importance of maintaining a good work-life balance. She's an author, speaker, and coach, focusing on helping women overcome their fears, move past their negative experiences, and live life on purpose. And just before we bring Angela Denise and Athena Blue to the stage, we want to encourage you to invite your sister friend to join us today. We also want to encourage your heart to take notes. After all, when we say she is a writer, girl, we're talking about you. So we want to encourage you to take notes and not only write on your paper, but write on your heart those takeaways that will help transform your situation. Write down that which is shared today so that you can share your story with the world who's waiting. Don't forget to leave us a comment, subscribe, and stay connected. As a bonus, be sure to listen to the end because we'll be giving away something that you'll want to receive. Now, if you're ready, join me in welcoming to the Worldwide Women Speakers stage, Angela Denise and Athena Blue.
Ladies, welcome to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, you know what? You got me. You got my heart connected to your heart because you are amazingly awesome. When I say she is amazing girl. I'm talking about you. So today we're actually talking about you being a writer to help you walk through your journey to either become a writer, continue writing, or get the encouragement you need to do what you've been called and created to do. We know there's a book in you because everybody has a story, and you've been keeping the world waiting. You probably have chapter 1 and 2, but then you set it down. So let's see what the ladies have to say today about writing. Just before they start, I want to share a quick story with you. Me personally, I hate writing. I just don't like it. I used to enjoy writing poetry, but I never liked writing. Matter of fact, when I was in college, I made sure I took every class that you had to take a test for. I was not taking a test. You had to write anything, especially if you got graded on spelling. Oh, no, that just wasn't me, and it just wasn't happening. And here recently I had a birthday party, and I had some of my closest friends and family there. And so we played this game, What You Know About RJ. And it was so funny because I wrote this question, and I said, which one does RJ hate? And I gave 3 choices, and writing was one. And out of all the people who could get the question, my girlfriend got the question. And she was like, I know this one. I know this one. And she said, girl, you got 7 books, so it's not writing. Oh, yes, it was. It was writing. I don't like it. How about you? And yes, it's true. I have 7 books, but I write for a purpose, not because I like it. How about you, Athena? What is writing like for you, Miss Athena Blue?
Well, my first exposure to writing was, of course, in school, having to write reports for not science, but English or social studies or whatever, And, of course, they were assignments, and, of course, I didn't really want to do them. But once I started writing, then I found that, it kind of flowed out of me pretty good, especially if I knew what I was talking about. And especially in English, my English teacher would say, you have a very good writing style. And I would say, oh, okay, all right, thank you. What kind of grade I got? That's all I was interested in, because I wasn't really too interested in writing. But it wasn't exactly a chore for me once I started it, but it was starting it that was the problem for me. It was like, oh, gosh. It was, I guess, because I equivalent to work, and I just didn't want to do that, So but once I started it, it was kind of fun. And I, of course, did some writing in college, and once I got married and had kids, and I didn't have to do too much writing. When I became a nurse manager, yes, I did do some writing then, but it's basically for work, and it was something different. And once I joined your group, RJ, the Worldwide Women Speakers, that's when I started doing more, I guess you might say, creative writing or writing about my life or whatever. And that took a little revving up to do. Because the very first project we did, I was like a total blank for like 2 days. I sat before the computer and started writing. No, that's not right. Wrote down, said, no, that's not right. It was like, oh, my gosh, I can't think of anything to do. And so I just had to settle myself down and just kind of turn on some soft music, relaxing music, and just let my mind go blank. Then I put my fingers to the computer and just started writing. Not erasing anything, just letting stuff flow out of my fingertips. And so once that got going, and then things started just pouring out, started making sense, and I said, okay, there were things that, okay, well, that don't belong here, that belongs there. After I did it all, then I had to go back and rearrange it in an orderly fashion. I just let stuff just flow out. And that's the way I kind of got back into it. And I thank you for being a part of allowing me to be a part of Worldwide Women Speakers, because that reactivated that, I guess, I don't know if you'd call it talent, but that skill in me that had been lying dormant for so many years. And I do enjoy it. But like I said, my thing is starting it, sitting myself down and getting to it. And once I sit down and start and let my fingers start flowing, then I kind of start enjoying it because things are just it's pouring out of my brain into my fingertips and things are just going. So for me, I do enjoy writing once I sit myself down and commit to doing it.
Okay, ladies, okay. I know somebody is saying, oh, girl, that's me. Oh, my gosh, she's talking my language. So here's what we're going to ask you to do. If that's you and you are so feeling, you are so picking up what Athena is putting down in the comments, go ahead and say, ooh, girl, she's talking about me. Because, listen, we are here for you. And we can't help you if you aren't willing to admit you need the help. And let me just remind you, Worldwide Women Speakers always presents to you a safe platform without judgment. And you are never alone. Thank you, Athena, so much for sharing and reminding us of, we got to get started, right? Because that's the first step. And we're going to come back and talk about that. First, let's hear from Angela Denise, transformational coach. What's writing like for you, Angela? How do you feel about writing?
I can definitely agree with Ms. Athena that I did not like it either. I mean, I had a book in my head for over 10 years, and I would write maybe like 2 or 3 pages or so and then stop, and maybe another year would go by, and I would have it on my heart again to write a book, write another 2 or 3 pages, and then just stop. And I just remember back in 2016, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do 2 or 3 pages. I'm going to write the whole book. So I just really set aside time every day to really write at least 1 to 2 pages each day until I finish the book. And not worrying about what I really wrote, just taking the thoughts from my mind and just, keying them out, and then going back to look over and make, corrections or adjustments to things. I think a lot of times we think about, having things perfect or, how is it going to be? It's going to be perfect. Is it going to be right? A rough draft is a rough draft. Get the information out of your head and get it on paper, and then you can go and you can make the adjustments. And like Athena said, getting started is the biggest part, and that's what I really had to do is, start and continue and finish and not worry about is it right, is it perfect. We can go back, we can make the corrections, we can get the edits done, and we can get a finished product completed. And that's what it's all about, just making sure that you get the information out of your head on the paper. Yes, it's going to be scary, but get it done, get it finished, and then set that goal for yourself and really get that book completed. I know you can.
Angela, let me just make sure I heard what you said. Now, did you say you wrote like a page a year, or did I misunderstand you?
That's correct. I would start and write a page or 2, and then I would stop, and then a year later, I would be like, okay, I need to write that book and write another page or 2, and then stop and, go about everyday life. And then in 2016, I was like, you know what? It's not going to be a page or 2. I'm going to complete this book, and that's what happened. And I wrote the book in 30 days.
So it's comment time, because I know somebody is listening that said, oh, Lord, he all up in my stuff talking about 1 page a year, because that's me. I know you're out there listening, and I know you got 1 page on the paper, and that was from 2018, and you're still saying you're going to do it. So I told you you're not alone. So if that's you, go ahead, do us a favor. Just put 1 page in the comments. That's all, just the words, 1 page. But I love, Angela, how you said, but I didn't stop there, and how important it is to continue. So let me ask you this. Do you journal?
Oh, absolutely. I journal. I always keep a journal with me. at all times. Actually, today I went and bought another journal because I'm done with the previous journal I was writing in. So I take notes. I journal anything that comes to my mind that I think I need to write down. And just, different strategies, things about my business. I always have a journal. So in my purse there will be a journal always. So today I went and bought a brand new one because my pages were out on the old one. So.
And sometimes people think when we journal, we have to write a certain way. What do you think about that? Is there a certain format to journaling or what? Because some people are afraid to journal because they've been told, no, you got to do it this way, you got to write it that way. What do you say about it, Angela?
No, I think you're just right. I don't think it needs to be a certain way or anything like that. I mean, if it's, thoughts that are coming to your mind, a great idea or whichever, jot it down. Some pages are not going to look the same, throughout the journal, but it's about, keeping those notes, also just going back to, okay, what great idea that you had that you may, forget later on and you want to go back and see. So, definitely it's not one way that you need to do it. Whichever way that you want to keep your journal, you do that.
How about you, Athena? What's journaling like for you? Do you journal? Do you like it? Is it important?
Well, I must confess I don't journal consistently. Again, for me, it's time. I get up way early in the morning, and when it's time to go to bed, I'm really sleepy. Don't feel like writing anything down. But on the weekends, I'll sit down and I'll do some writing in the book, so it's not like something I do every day. I try to do some on the weekend. I do have several books of projects that I'm writing on, my ideas I write down for each project that I want to work on. But for me, journaling is not consistent. As Angela was saying, when I do journal, I just write down the thoughts that pop into my mind. Or I might ask myself a question and ponder it and write down the answers. I may write down, some of the things that I want to change about myself and write down what can I do to make things better or for myself, and how can I become a better person, or what would life be like if I did thus and such. So journaling is personal, and it's not like you're going to share that book with anybody. You put in there whatever you want, and you write it down however you want, because it's yours. It's about you. It's for you. It's to help you. It could be a marker for when, you do something, you come back and say, oh, yeah, I did that, and cross that off, Or you can say, hey, yeah, these are some of the things I wanted to do, and, yeah, it came true. It came to pass. It'd be something that you can vent on, instead of, had a bad day, write it all out, get it all out. So it's very, very personal to each person, and there's no one right way to journal.
So, Athena, I keep hearing you say right. I know that's what we're talking about, right? So we're talking about I am a writer. She is a writer, and I am she. So I keep hearing you say right, and you're saying W-R-I-T-E. Why is it so important for us to write? W-R-I-T-E. Why is it important to write? Because it is right?
Well, yes, it is important to write down your goals, to write down what it is you want out of life, because, you can go back to that and see how far you've come. You can go back to that every day, and it keeps you motivated, especially if you're writing down what it is you want out of life. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? It kind of helps keep you motivated. You have like a little down day. You go back to your book and say, oh, yeah, this is why I'm sticking with this job for as long as I have been. This is why I'm saving my money. This is why I'm doing X, Y, Z, because I want to reach that goal. And that goal that you go and look at every day can help keep you motivated and keep you focused on what it is you want to do and why you're doing what you're doing. So, yes, writing is important for, giving you a reminder, a way of cleansing yourself, emotionally detoxing, if you will, by writing out, stuff that's inside of you that needs to get out, negativity. You can write it out. So you can, of course, you could punch a punching bag, but you can also write it out. And sometimes writing it out just makes it feel so much better, because you can go back and see it, And sometimes if you want to, after you write it out, you can just take that letter and burn it if you want to. That represents all of your negativity just flying out in the air and just going away. So to me, writing is important. But as I say, we just got to get into the habit of doing it.
What's your take on it, Angela? Why is writing important, or is it important?
I think writing is important also because I really think that when you put something on paper, you're making it plain and you're making it clear. It also, really resonates with your brain as well too. So you can remember the information that you're writing down, where you're not just thinking about it, but you're putting it, down on paper. Because what I do as far as like with my goals, I'm always writing goals. I'm always, writing strategies or thoughts or ideas and things like that. And it's definitely important because if I didn't write it down, I probably would forget what I thought about. Sometimes these days I forget even what I said the day before. So, I'm always writing things down and really going back and reviewing my notes and just seeing, where I am, just in life and where the goals are. So I definitely think it's very important to write it down, write out your goals, write out, the ideas that you have that come, to mind. And that way you have some type of reference tool to really go back to and just, make sure that, you're on track, with the goals and dreams and everything that you have in life.
Girl, if this were spoken words, I'd be snapping. Because, listen, when you said, I forgot what happened yesterday, listen, I can write it down and still forget what I meant when I wrote it down. So I so agree. I so agree. Listen, there's power in writing it down. When I used to work for Head Start, we used to be audited every year or so, and the auditor would say this very important thing: if it's not written, it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Write it down. Write it down. So writing in whatever format, it's important. It's history as well. It's history in the making. So, Athena, you talked about getting started earlier, and I know there, again, were some women who I'm sure commented and said, oh, girl, you all up in my stuff. You're speaking my language. Because, yeah, it is about getting started. So what would you say someone can do in order to get started? Like, how does somebody get started? Because sometimes in our head we're going, like me, I hate writing, right? So I'm speaking that language. I don't want to do it, or I can't do it. Sometimes we say, so what should we be saying, and how do we get started?
Well, what works for me is to get a timer and to set down that I'm going to work, say, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 40 minutes. So I work to time and not to task. So that way, if I just say I'm going to just work or write 20 minutes, at the end of 20 minutes, I stop, and then I go do something else. So that's one of the things I do. Instead of saying, well, I'm going to write this whole chapter right now and I won't get up until I finish it, that may not happen. But if I give myself a time and say, well, I'm just going to work 40 minutes on this project right now, and then I get up and do something else, well, then I can commit to 40 minutes and then get up and do something else. So that may be a way to help you get motivated. Instead of saying, well, I got to write this whole chapter right now, just say, well, I'm going to spend 40 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day writing towards my book or my project or whatever it is. And then that way you're writing in small batches and not like in whole chapters or whatever. Of course, if you have a short chapter, that's okay. But, write just a little a day if you commit to doing that to time. And then you can create an environment that kind of induces you to want to write. Your environment can be, a desk and chair, comfy desk and chair with your, pen and paper or your laptop or whatever, and just, whatever gets you relaxed enough to calm your mind down enough to start the words flowing. I just play relaxing, some people call it spa music. I just play that kind of music because it just helps to calm me down. My brain just kind of goes, ah. And then once I start putting my fingertips to the keyboard, then words start flowing, But that's the kind of mood or environment I have to be in order to get me to start my creative juices flowing. So those are the three things you do. Work the time and not the task, write in small batches, and create an environment that inspires you or induces the flow of writing. Those are three good tips I can pass along.
Those are great tips. I absolutely adore the one, work to time and not task, because
yes,
that
ma'am.
is so me. Like, my time is like, this is due in 5 hours. I better get writing. And it's usually not the chapter. It's usually the whole book.
Yep.
So, yeah, that time thing is really important to me. 3 great tips from Athena Blue, Mindset Maven. She is a writer. And, girl, when I say she is a writer, girl, I'm talking about you. Angela, Denise, what inspirational tips of transformation do you have for us so that we can get started writing?
So I think I have some of the same, because I did some of the same that Athena did as well too. But I do have one addition to give as well. But number one, I would set a time. Let's say I would set an hour and say, okay, from 8 to 9, I'm gonna focus on writing my book. Also, too, I wrote better sitting at a desk and my computer and chair. That was much better, because sometimes if you're, laying down, in the bed or somewhere that's a lot comfortable, you end up writing less, or, thinking or watching TV or doing something other than what you're supposed to be doing between that hour. And another thing I would say is, once you start writing, then you'll start to remember things, that you want to write. You can be doing something, just everyday tasks or whichever, and then something comes to mind. And basically that's when that journal comes in hand really good, if you're carrying it with you. And I suggest carrying it with you, because you could have something that comes in mind and say, hey, I want to put that into my book. And then sometimes you may try to remember, but by the time you get back to the computer, you've forgotten. So I suggest, carrying that journal around. If you remember something that you want to put in the book, jot it down. And then when it's your time to start writing again, you have that to write on. And that's just good, too. Like, as you're building, like, your chapters of what you want to write on, just start to give yourself, like, an outline. Jot down a few things that you want to talk about. Jot down a few things that you want to have, within a chapter. And just really frame your book. And then that way you have an outline to really start to write your book on. And you're just not going from just, something blank and no guidance. So that'll help you, too, to really frame your book and have somewhere to start. And so basically just going back over that to, set yourself a time, say if it's an hour a day. Also, too, you can carry your journal around. If it's something that you forget or want to, write in your book, you can go ahead and jot it down, and then when it's your time again to start writing, you can do that. I always, sit at a desk and a chair. That's best for me. Other people, it may be, something else that will work for you, but that's best for me, where I write more and don't, get sidetracked or anything, or start watching TV. And really just, just staying focused and have that outline as well, too. So you have some type of guide that you're going off of.
And guides are really important. And so let me just speak to a couple of things you said. For those of you who are listening and you're just not quite sure what a pen and paper, what those things are, because I know some of you, you're like, pen and paper, what? What is that, right? Because why? We do everything on our what? Our phone, right? So for those of you who are struggling with pen and paper, there are apps available. PenU is one. It's PENU, the letter. that's one that you could use. Evernote is another one you can use for journaling, which is really good. Don't allow the excuse of, well, I don't like to write on pen and paper, keep you from your greatness. I shared with you when we started, I don't like to write. But I have 7 books, 4 of them which are bestsellers. And I didn't get them from having excuses. I got them from pressing past the excuse and doing what I've been called to do. And that's why we're here today, to encourage you to do the exact same thing. So thank you, Angela, Denise. Thank you, Athena Blue, for helping us get started. And, you know, the song says it doesn't matter what you start, it's what you finish that matters. So I'd like to know from both of you, Angela, once we get started, how do we stay inspired?
Remember, like, why you're doing it. That's the main thing. Because the thing is, you have something inside of you that needs to be brought out, that needs to be, birthed. And the thing is, we can, just like I started on my book and I did a page or 2 a year, but I kept on coming back around, say, okay, I need to write this book. The longer you go without birthing that dream or that idea, you're going to continue to be like that, writing a page a year until it's birthed. But once you birth that idea, I mean, everything takes off. Everything is then amazing. Then you feel that you've accomplished something. Because when God puts something down in your heart and he wants you to, really birth it, he wants you really to, make sure that you create it, make sure that you finish it, it's going to stay there until you get that done. So I suggest go ahead, start writing, continue writing until you finish your book. And then once you publish that book and once you feel that book in your hand of what you've completed and you know that that's something that's been in your heart for all these years, you'll really, really feel thankful, grateful, and you'll really feel that you've accomplished at least one of those dreams and goals that you have in your life.
Get started and keep going. How about you, Athena?
I perfectly and wholeheartedly agree with Angela, what she was saying. And, you put it down on the list. Make it part of your bucket list of things you've always wanted to do. Or, I just created my vision board, or finished it 2 weeks ago. I have on there everything that I want to do, or most of the things that I want to do, and I look at it every day. Put your book up there, even if you got a title for it, it's not just put my book, whatever. And then, when you see it every day, that's like something that says, oh, yeah, that's one of my goals, that's one of my dreams, that's one of the things I want to do. And it's there looking at you in your face every day. And that's something to keep you motivated. You could also put something on your computer home screen. Don't forget your book. Put the name of or the title of your book. That could be one of your pictures that gets flashed across. So you can make little ways, the creative ways to just give you gentle reminders of what you want to do, or what your goals are. And it's just gentle ways of keeping you motivated. That's some of the motivational things I can think of that you could do to just keep yourself going.
Now, you both mentioned publish. So I know you're both published authors, actually you're best-selling authors. Athena, what's the name of the book that you're a part of and your story that you've written?
Life on the Other Side of Fear. My Wake-Up Call. Yes, ma'am.
My Wake-Up Call.
Mm-hmm.
And how appropriate, life on the other side of fear, because fear is one of those things that keeps us from writing. It keeps us from telling our story. So what's next for you in terms of writing, Athena?
What's next for me? Well, I'm actually working on creating a short course about how to overcome depression, or based on how I overcame depression. I want to write like a little short course that that people can go and look at and hopefully learn from my examples and what happened to me, how they too can overcome depression and feeling sad or feeling anxious. I'm hoping to complete it within 3 weeks, so my target date is to be able to launch it sometime in April. So that's my next writing thing that I'm going to do, my next writing project right now, create my first short course.
She is a writer.
And I am she.
Yes, you are. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, for encouraging our heart and reminding us that there's greatness inside of us and we can write, right?
Right. R-I-G-H-T, right.
Miss Angela, Denise, tell me about your writing. Tell me about your books, your chapters, and whatever you're in. Tell us about it and tell us what's next for you.
Well, since I wrote my first book, which the first book was Ladies, What in the Hell Are We Doing? And it basically, talks about my life and everything and the separation and divorce that I went through and just going through just with infidelity and just becoming strong as a woman and loving who I am as myself and just teaching other women to, to love yourself and make sure that you take care of yourself. So that was the first book that I wrote. And since then, I have been a part of 4 other book projects as well. So just last year, I had a total of 5 books, published. So being scared and not wanting to write, turned into a total of 5 books published within 1 year. After, going through writing 1 chapter per year, over the 10-year span. So definitely, you can do it. You can go from not writing a book to writing, 4 to 5 in 1 year and being a part of those projects. And then now, the next project that I expect to have published by the end of this year is just, starting my business and basically giving the good, the bad, the ugly, and all in between of that, just to inspire women that, you can start your own business and you can be successful and, you can write your books and everything that you have in your heart to do, you can do it. You can definitely do it.
She is a writer.
And I am she.
Yes, you are. Girl, when I say she is a writer, girl, I'm talking about you. There's a story inside of you. There are goals inside of you that need to be written down. It's time to pick up your pen and write them down. And you don't have to do this alone. Both Angela Denise, Transformational Coach, and Athena Blue, they're here to help you. So reach out to them today. Matter of fact, for being a part of our journey today, we have a free ebook for you. Right after we're done, you will get the information to contact either Angela or Athena, and you can reach out and get your copy of a free ebook that's waiting just for you. And always remember, when we say she is a writer, girl, we're talking about you. We're talking about you.
We have not only enjoyed talking about you, we've enjoyed talking to you as well. Sharing with you success strategies, information that causes transformation, the importance of writing that book. Because when we say she's a writer, girl, we're talking about you. And it's time for you to share your story for God's glory. It's time for you to tell the world what you have been through, what you are going through, and how you survived. It's time. Connect with us today here at Worldwide Women Speakers. We want to journey with you. You can connect with Athena Blue or Angela Denise. I'd be delighted to speak with you too. I'm RJ Jackson, the Courage Giver, reminding you that you are a writer. We look forward to connecting with you again on next month. So we want to make sure that you stay connected. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And if you're not on our mailing list, well, girl, it's time to do that now. Go ahead and write us, worldwidewomenspeakers.com. And stay connected. Until soon, keep up your courage. Put the pen to the paper. Take a risk with confidence. And stay blessed indeed.
Whether you are looking to encourage, educate, inspire, or motivate, hiring a worldwide women's speaker is the perfect way to wow your audience. With such a wide range of talented speakers to choose from, finding the right person can be a bit challenging. That's why we are here to help you. We have the right speaker for your conference, training, and women's event. Contact us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com. That's www.worldwidewomenspeakers.com. Ladies, do you feel stuck, stressed, unhappy with your body, and feel like no one really hears you? For years, Athena Blue struggled with these very same issues. Through her own healing journey, she discovered healthy ways to not only look and feel younger, but regain her confidence, power, and zest for life. Schedule your free emotional detox session with Athena now and learn the #1 thing you can do now to turn your life around. Call Athena today at 877-235-0373, extension 907. Do you have a strategy plan for your life? Is your plan outdated or collecting dust as life passes you by? It's time to stop winging it and contact Angela Denise, your certified life coach. Angela is waiting to help you develop a strategic life plan to get your life back on track. Be the best you can be with strategies. Contact Angela today at www.askangeladenise.com. Need a quick pick-me-upper? Tune into the Conversations on Courage podcast every Tuesday at 3:30 PDT for a down-to-earth conversation on courage, confidence, and the success strategies that you need to succeed at home, work, or in your business. Catch the replay or listen live at rjjackson.live. That's rjjackson.live. Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. Connect with us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com.